The website conohalfxclient.io introduces itself as a modern trading platform designed for investors who want to work with advanced technologies, instant execution, and seemingly limitless opportunities. But when one examines the project closely, it becomes clear that this is not a brokerage service, nor an exchange, nor any kind of regulated financial institution. It is a facade built with the single purpose of persuading uninformed users to deposit funds that they will never see again. The operators of this platform rely on a predictable pattern: a newly created domain, hidden ownership, exaggerated promises, extreme leverage, and a complete absence of licensing, transparency, or accountability. The domain was registered only in the year 2025, and every identifying detail about its owner is concealed behind anonymity services. For legitimate financial companies, this is impossible. Regulated brokers must publicly disclose their legal entity, company address, industry supervisor, and registration number. Here, none of this information exists, which immediately signals that the people behind the project are avoiding oversight and responsibility. The platform advertises leverage up to 1 to 1,000, a figure that is prohibited in the vast majority of regulated jurisdictions. Such leverage is used not to enhance trading opportunities, but to attract clients who are unfamiliar with how dangerous and unrealistic this parameter is. It serves as bait, not as a real financial tool. When users register on the site, they are contacted by so-called account managers whose real function is not to assist with trading, but to pressure individuals to deposit more and more. They promise profitability, claim to use advanced analytics, and insist that every additional payment will supposedly accelerate growth. These conversations are engineered, psychologically manipulative, and designed to make the user emotionally dependent on the expert. Once a deposit is made, the user sees an interface that imitates trading activity. Charts move, balances fluctuate, and profits appear on the screen. But none of these operations correspond to real market transactions. It is a visual illusion meant to convince the victim that the strategy is working and that a larger deposit would produce even better results. The problems begin the moment a user asks to withdraw funds. First come delays, then fabricated explanations about internal checks, tax requirements, or identity verification, and eventually complete silence. Some victims report that the platform demands an upfront tax payment or account unlocking fee, with the promise that withdrawal will be processed afterwards. But as soon as the additional amount is transferred, communication stops entirely. This routine is characteristic of high-risk investment fraud, and not a single licensed broker in the world would request any payment prior to withdrawal. Legitimate companies deduct fees automatically from the withdrawal amount, and taxes are handled at the jurisdictional or banking level, not by the platform itself. Every positive review appearing online about this project looks suspicious. Many of them follow identical wording, minimal detail, and exaggerated praise, which suggests the reviews were written by the same individuals who operate the scheme. Meanwhile, independent forums consistently describe the same experience: disappearing balances, frozen accounts, unresponsive support, and failed withdrawal attempts. These testimonies form a clear picture of systematic fraud rather than isolated issues. The behavior of the site fits the typical model of a Ponzi-style operation. At the early stage, some users may receive tiny withdrawals to create the illusion of legitimacy, but these small payments are covered by the deposits of new victims. Once the platform gathers enough funds or faces increased scrutiny, it shuts down and reappears under a new name. The pattern has already been observed in similar projects where almost identical designs, wording, and promises were used. Names such as Vertex, Oppo Finance, and other disposable brands repeat the same script. conohalfxclient.io is simply the latest iteration of this scheme, operating under a fresh domain and relying on the same deceptive methods. Real brokerage activity requires strict compliance with international financial standards, transparent reporting, protection of client funds, and verifiable licensing. None of this exists here. The company is not registered with the Financial Conduct Authority in the United Kingdom, nor with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, nor with the Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission, nor with any other recognized regulator. Without regulatory oversight, there is no legal framework that obliges the platform to follow any rules, return funds, or be accountable to its clients. Any individual already affected by this scheme should immediately stop all communication with the supposed managers, avoid sending additional payments, and preserve all available evidence such as emails, chat records, screenshots, and transaction receipts. These materials may assist both the bank during a chargeback process and investigative specialists who work with financial recovery cases. Victims should also notify their national financial supervisory authorities or cybercrime units, because timely reporting can help prevent further harm to other potential investors. The most important conclusion is that konohafsclient.io is not a legitimate investment environment, but a high-risk fraudulent construction operating under a temporary domain with no intention of providing financial services. Its extraordinary promises, its unrealistic leverage, its hidden ownership, and its systematic withdrawal obstruction all point to one reality. This platform exists only to collect deposits and vanish.